My name is Emily, and I'll be the first to admit it. I never thought I'd end up here, staring at the wreckage of my marriage, trying to make sense of how a few old photos and lies spiraled everything into chaos. If you'd asked me 2 months ago, I would have told you my marriage was rock solid. I had a good life, a nice house, and a steady, dependable husband. But here we are, and I'm sitting in the mess I made, wondering what the hell happened. It all started one quiet afternoon, just like any other. Sam and I were getting ready for the big move. We'd been married for 6 years. Our relationship, though nothing spectacular, was always comfortable, safe. We had routines, a predictable life. Maybe that's where I went wrong, but I didn't see it at the time. Sam was in the garage, packing up our old stuff, when I heard him go completely quiet. You know that kind of silence? The one that hangs in the air like it's too heavy to breathe in? I immediately knew something was wrong. "Emily, what's this?" His voice was soft, but there was a cold edge to it. I walked over and saw him holding a dusty shoebox I hadn't thought about in years. I froze. I knew exactly what it was. The box I'd hidden deep in the back of the closet. The box filled with remnants of a past I thought I'd buried long ago. Old photos, letters, trinkets from my first love, Adam. The one that got away. "Oh, that's just some old college stuff," I said, trying to sound casual, though I felt my heart race in my chest. I could feel the heat creeping up my neck. I knew Sam wasn't going to let this go. "Really?" Sam said, his tone flat. "You told me you got rid of all this." He started flipping through the photos. There we were, Adam and I, young and carefree, on trips we never wanted to end. Then came the letter swords I had long since forgotten. But here they were, staring me in the face. His handwriting, my old feelings, everything I'd tucked away, now exposed. "Emily, this isn't just old stuff," Sam said, his voice trembling now. "Why did you keep it? Why didn't you get rid of it like you promised?" I felt my stomach drop. The question was simple, but it hit like a hammer. I didn't have an answer, not one that would make sense, not one that wouldn't tear everything apart. "It doesn't mean anything," I said, my voice weak even to my own ears. "It's just memories. It's in the past." Sam didn't buy it. He looked at me, eyes hard with hurt. "If it doesn't mean anything, why keep it? Why lie about it?" I wasn't ready for this. Not today. Not when we had 1,000 things to do before the move. But here we were, and the tension between us was suffocating. "I didn't lie about it, Sam. It's part of my history. What am I supposed to do, pretend he never existed?" That was the moment I lost him. Sam stepped back, his face a mixture of confusion and pain. "I thought I was your present and future, Emily, not some guy you dated years ago." The words stung, but instead of facing them, I deflected. I rolled my eyes, frustrated. "This is so stupid. You're making such a big deal about a box of old photos. Can we please focus on the move?" But Sam wasn't done. He wasn't letting it go. "You're still in contact with him, aren't you?" My pulse raced. "What? No, of course not." But that was another lie. I had been following Adam on social media, in secret, where Sam would never find out. The rest of the day was a blur. We finished packing in silence. I tried to act normal at dinner, but Sam barely spoke to me. When we went to bed, he grabbed a pillow and said he was sleeping on the couch. I wanted to argue. I wanted to make him see that this wasn't a big deal. But deep down, I knew this was different. I'd crossed a line, and now there was no going back. I couldn't sleep. The silence between us was deafening. I thought about Adam, what he was doing now. I'd heard he was back in town, but I hadn't reached out to him, at least not recently. The next morning, Sam barely acknowledged me. His eyes were red, like he hadn't slept all night. We packed in silence, both of us pretending the other wasn't there. "Do you ever think about him?" Sam asked, his voice barely above a whisper. I knew exactly who he meant. Adam. "No," I lied again. "That was years ago." "Then why keep all this stuff?" Sam pressed, his voice steady. But there was a sadness in it that made my heart ache. "I don't know, Sam," I said, my voice breaking. "It's mine. It's my past. I didn't think it would hurt you." Sam didn't answer. He just turned back to the boxes and kept packing. I felt the gap between us growing wider. I spent the next few days trying to move on, but it was impossible. The guilt I felt over what I had done to Sam, to myself, was overwhelming. But even then, there was something I couldn't shake. a desire to reconnect with Adam, to feel something real again. I messaged him one night, just a simple, "Hey stranger, saw you were back in town." The response came almost immediately. "Emily Taylor, thought you'd disappeared into married life." It was like no time had passed. We talked for hours about his life, his career, my move. I never mentioned Sam. I left him out of the conversation completely. The next day, I met Adam for coffee. I told Sam I was meeting a friend from work. Another lie. Seeing Adam again was like stepping back into a world I'd left behind. He was everything Sam wasn't: spontaneous, passionate, unpredictable. We fell into easy conversation. "Are you happy?" Adam asked, looking at me like he knew the answer. I hesitated, then lied. "Of course I am." But I wasn't. I wasn't happy at all. As the days went on, I found myself sneaking around, lying to Sam about where I was and who I was with. And each time I saw Adam, the guilt grew, but so did the pull between us. One night things went too far. Adam and I kissed. It was everything I'd been missing. I didn't think about Sam or the life I was supposed to be building with him. It felt so easy to slip back into old patterns with Adam. But when I got home, Sam was waiting. He'd found out about my lies. About Adam. "I saw you," he said, his voice shaking. "I saw the way you looked at him." I couldn't deny it anymore. The truth was staring me in the face, and all I could do was look away. "I wasn't happy," I whispered, but it wasn't enough to fix what I'd broken. Sam packed his things that night. He didn't scream or yell. He just left. And that's when the reality hit me. I had thrown it all away, me marriage, my stability for something that never should have been. Now I'm sitting here, alone, in our empty house, surrounded by boxes. The man I once loved is gone, and Adam, he's not the answer I thought he would be. He doesn't want me the way I thought he would. I kept photos of my college boyfriend, and now my husband's moving his things out. And I'll be left with nothing but memories, and the haunting question of how I let it all slip away.